This is the site of two murals I did. This is the new Ryder Retail Station. This is the mail room over here, the mailbox room. And I just completed this Coney Island mural. It consists of several pictures taken from Coney Island postcards. A lot of people think that these are actually posters or photographs that I've done. But they're my tedious hand, and hours and hours of steady work. And these pictures span from 1900, the oldest being Dreamland, to Steeple Chase on the back wall, all the way to Coney Island the way it is today. I wish to bring back these memories to people. Okay, we start off here with the parachute jump. It's the parachute jump. This would be as if you were on top of it. This was the very first one that I did. It says view from the top. As you can see, this is looking over Coney Island. Of course, you have the famous Steeple Chase building and all the different bathhouses that used to be popular. Very few, if any, remain today. This is the parachute jump, and it still stands today, but it's kind of rusting away. It's a landmark, so they can't take it down, really. It's too bad they can't, fix it up again. This parachute jump originally was in the 1939 World's Fair, and it was sponsored by Lifesavers. And following the World's Fair, it became a permanent installation at Coney Island. And I guess my earliest memories, when I was like 3 or 4, I went on top of once or twice, and I could just barely remember that. This is the Wonder Wheel. Actually, I took this recently in Coney Island. This is the way it looks today, except, of course, I gave it a fresh coat of paint. It's kind of rusted out and sun bleached, just like everything else. This is a picture as if it were dusk, right after the sun set. And I took a photograph of this, and this is called Wonder Wheel Park. This has got, all the little rides here for the kids, such as the merry-go-round, the tilt-a-whirl over here. Now we come over to probably the most well-preserved landmark, which is called the Cyclone Roller Coaster. I love this ride. I try to take one ride a year on it. And this was taken by me, a photograph, and which I tried to copy as accurately as I could. This is actually the opposite view of the first view of the beach, which was taken from the parachute jump, which you see on the upper right. Okay, this is taken from the top of the Cyclone. And, of course, looking down. This was probably the most complicated one that I did. It was supposed to start out as, like the Coney Island title here, just to let everyone know in case they don't know this is Coney Island. And, of course, I superimposed the lettering on an actual picture. This is the baths on the boardwalk, and these, of course, are the people, kind of abstract, the people on the beach. And New York, I've got the parachute jump. And these little buildings over here are from Luna Park, which I kind of put in as a transition. And you got the bathers from Life magazine. I think this was taken, you know, in the 1920s, a roaring 20s. A famous picture of the lifeguards. And just putting this together, I kind of did it all on the spot, so it took me a while to be happy with it. And then we've got our famous Nathans over here. You can't leave out Nathans. Everybody loves the prices. I mean, there's some people who actually, you know, were alive, you know, when it was this much to buy the food. This was taken from a picture, a black and white newspaper picture that I got from the Brooklyn Historic Society. Now we start to go a little further back in time. I mean, over here on this wall, we span back to like as far as the 1960s, which was still, you know, considered relatively recent, but, you know, still capturing the end of Coney Island's heyday. Now over here, we're going to go back just a little bit in time, you know, from like, I would say it spanned from about 1910 to about 1963. This is Steeple Chase over here, okay? As you can see over here, this is called the Funny Place. This is the famous Steeple Chase Funny Face, which is actually a caricature of Tillieu, you know, the president himself. And these are people just entering into this place called the Pavillion of Fun, which is to be seen over here. This structure here, which used to stand right near the parachute jump, but as you can see, there's no parachute jump here because this was like right at the turn of the century this was done. This is early steeplechase. Okay, and then of course you got the famous carousel over here. I mean, this isn't the one that you see on Surf Avenue. This is the original carousel. Okay, this was brought over from Europe. I mean, it was right in the Pavilion of Fun. Of course, they had crowds and crowds of people here, you know, crowds waiting online. The crowd was like, you know, the symbol of Coney Island, basically. What's Coney Island without a crowd in those days?
How you doing?
Hey, good.
Beautiful work.
Ah.
Are you recording your work?
Yes, come over. I'm gonna.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
I'm maintenance at Ryder Station. What beautiful work she does.
Thank you.
Beautiful work. It
Yeah.
brings back old times, especially looking at this here.
Yeah.
The Iron Horses.
Yeah, we got to talk about the Iron Horses.
Oh, great.
Yeah, you went on those when
Yes,
you were
I did.
little?
Oh, it was great.
Oh, good.
I was about 8 years old.
Uh-huh.
Best ride in the whole place.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it. I think it was gone by the time I
great.
was there. This ride has great sentimental value to, you know, the majority of, you know, the people that I meet there. You know, they remember the horses, but, you know, yet they were kids. And I think the fact that they were kids makes it, you know, seem all that more powerful in their memory. You know, it seemed, you know, mighty, and it was a scary ride to a lot of people.
Right.
What were they like?
We sat down on an iron horse, as you can look in the picture,
Right?
and see the tracks that they run?
Yeah.
And they were up and down the hills and sideways, and you were like,
Did you feel like you were going to fall off or something?
yeah, it was scary, but it was great.
Uh-huh. Did they tie you in or no?
Yeah, you get tied in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And you try and beat whoever's on the other horses.
Uh-huh. And
But
I
you
guess
didn't
the heaviest person probably won, though, because probably more momentum. How did you
Right.
make the horses go fast?
Uh,
How did that?
you didn't. It just went on the track and did
Right.
its thing.
Uh-huh. And then tell them...
This was the beginning of the ride when I went up the hill.
Uh-huh.
And then everything was downhill after that.
Oh, I see.
It was great. I used to go on that all the time,
Right.
maybe 5 times a day.
5 times a day?
When I was there, when I was a kid,
Oh my God.
I used to go on there all the time.
Did you ever do the shooting the chutes over here? We're going now to Luna Park. This is even further in our memories.
Oh, Luna Park is before my time.
Really? Yeah, I guess if I read the date, that would certainly
Yeah,
indicate that. That was 1904.
My parents know about Luna Park.
Oh, I bet.
For $1, they can go. They can go on a bus, have lunch at Nathan's all day, go to a movie, go on the rides, and come home and still have change for $1.
Well, anyway, what was so nice about this park is, I mean, it reminded me of being in Venice, you know, with the canals and the
I never
boats
saw that. Wow.
and the castles. I mean, it really had a European flavor to it.
What is that in the background? Looks like a slide.
Yeah, this is called the Chutes. These are the Chutes. It's one of the first water slides.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they also had one in Dreamland too. So
Yeah,
you
I
would
see that.
shoot down through there and then you'd come through the water like that boat.
When you look at Dreamland, it was like at that time there was no Disney World. But when you look
Yeah,
at Dreamland,
really, that's true.
it looks like the same type of atmosphere.
This is Luna Park. I mean, there was so many lights. I mean, that's basically what caused the big fire that took Luna Park and Dreamland, which was
Oh,
there.
you
They
need
weren't
to-
there for very long because, you know, due to faulty electrical
They
problems,
weren't that.
they both burned down.
Really? I
Yeah,
never knew there was a fire.
yeah,
Until now.
but you know, we weren't alive then, so.
No. But you know, from hearing it on TV, I never knew that. From hearing from other people, I
Yeah,
never knew that.
the Luna Park had like 10 million lights.
Wow.
The heart of Coney
You
Island.
did great work. Really did
Thank
great
you.
work. Really nice.
Give you a last like bird's eye view of the entire thing. There was only about 2-foot clearance above the mailboxes, so I made several like mural vignettes, and people love them. I mean, they walk in and it just brings back a whole lot of memories.